Arrival is wordless. There isn't a single word within the story outside of dedications and acknowledgements. So how can I, using words, talk about it? Well, to be honest, anything I say won't be as meaningful as the graphic novel itself. I just hope that this video might get some people interested in checking it out. So obviously, I love The Arrival, but this is a review. I don't want to spoil anything, but I kind of have to be able to talk about the graphic novel at all. So I'm going to reveal a rule I've set myself and have implemented in previous videos in the A Brief Review series. That rule is to avoid showing anything from the second half of the book, game, or in future videos, movies or TV series. So I will have to lessen your potential experience with the graphic novel in order to properly cover it. But rest assured that I will not show any of the highlights or major moments or anything from the second half of the graphic novel. So here we go. I'm Tim, this is Various, with another brief review, this time of Shaun Tan's The Arrival. The entirety of The Arrival is portrayed through black and white drawings that have been manipulated to look like photographs. Being silent, or wordless, the book portrays realistically and powerfully the experience of being in a foreign land without the comfort of a common language. Presented in hardback with slightly glossy pages, the novel evokes a wonderful aesthetic reminiscent of old books, journals, and photo albums that melds with the story's themes wonderfully. In terms of story, the graphic novel is very simple, following the experiences of an immigrant to a foreign land and the people he meets there and their stories of their own arrival. Each story is laid with dark imagery and themes that explore in an abstract way the reasons people leave everything behind to begin elsewhere, and every character is treated with a great deal of respect and attention to detail that makes the silent panels say as much as a paragraph of text. The length of the book is interesting to talk about, so here I'll use an analogy from video game discussion. The graphic novel is fairly short, under 150 pages. If you rush through the main story, you can finish it in half an hour, but if you explore every side quest, you could read it for upwards of 3 hours. I use this analogy because your involvement with the book will depend largely on how actively you investigate it. Small details and larger thematic ideas don't always contribute directly into the main story, but rather paint a picture of the world our unnamed protagonists have travelled to. In games discussion, there's often talk of the value of the game being tied to the length, something I strongly disagree with, and agree with even less here. It's a novel that took 4 years to create, but could easily be read in a single sitting. That's not a bad thing, however. For every time I've reread The Arrival, it has offered more to delve into, more to emotionally affect me. I'm not ashamed to say that it does affect me emotionally either. I've cried while reading The Arrival, something only the best works of art can achieve. And while I might take something different out of the book to what you might, there's something fundamentally human and relatable about the book that may take you off guard. Set in a fantastic world with strange rules and bizarre animals, there is a simple thread that weaves through the whole book that is relatable, and I would be surprised if anyone were to say they couldn't find that thread, even if they didn't engage with the book emotionally in the same way that I did. Finally, I must discuss the art. Shaun Tan is incredible. I've known of his work since primary school, and indeed many of his books are labelled as children's books, but the visuals and themes in almost all of his work are just as engaging to an adult audience as to a child audience. They don't patronise you as a child, nor do they lack the deeper themes that an adult audience demands. So, The Arrival, as with most of Shaun Tan's work, grows with you as you grow older. I first read The Arrival in middle high school. I'd read some of Tan's work in primary school. And now, in my third year of university, I get more out of it than I ever did previously. My love for Tan as an artist only grows as I do. And I dearly love the art in this novel for reasons I'm sure you can understand if I allow you to judge it for yourself. So that's Shaun Tan's The Arrival. Tan is one of Australia's best literary and visual artists in my opinion, and should you see this book, I highly recommend you check it out. It's wonderful, affecting, human and uplifting. I can't recommend it enough. As always, if you have any tips, tricks, or advice on how I could improve my videos, I'd love to hear them. I'm always looking to improve my work. Cheers, have a good one. Watchman is influential, ambitious, and complex. Summing it up in one video is next to impossible, so this is a brief review situated almost exclusively in my personal experience with the graphic novel. There may be mild spoilers in this review, no more though than you might receive from casually flipping